To our correspondent Yolo Abdafed, who is live for us in Ankara. Yolo, let's begin with the extradition process for Fethullah Gulen. Where are we on that? What is the latest?
Well, we had that confirmation from the Prime Minister yesterday that the evidence which the Americans had suggested they wanted to see, well, that evidence, those dossiers, 4 separate dossiers from what we understand, some of it, according to the Americans, is electronic. It was transmitted electronic to them yesterday. So they have that evidence now. What is still unclear whether the request is part of that dossier, whether the Turkish authorities have sent the evidence thinking that's it, now the process has started, or whether indeed the Americans are still waiting. There was some indication that yes, they've received the evidence, but they're waiting for an official request. We'll see. But it seems now that the extradition agreement between Turkey and America will be under a spotlight, because this is not just the current administration in America, but it is a long-standing agreement in terms of extradition between the two countries. So it's now, I think, down to the Americans to respond, to look at the evidence that's been passed to them by the Turkish authorities, and we'll see what happens next.
Yolo, meanwhile, the number of people detained and suspended continues to grow. It's now been widened into the education sector. Bring us up to date on that.
Well, that figure you quoted earlier, 35,000 people, which are being suspended, which are investigated, really. So these figures, when you put them all together, we're talking about roughly 45,000 people, which are either arrested, detained, or being investigated. And of course, that investigation now has been widened. We had reports yesterday of people in the Prime Minister's office, which were being investigated. Now is the education department, the universities. So it's been widened, and that corresponds, I think, to the concerns about the tentacles of what the government and President Erdogan has called the parallel state, that there is almost an element in each in each department, in each fabric of society, in each level of society. And that's why this investigation is being widened to such a degree.
What happens today, Yolo? Because we heard from the president yesterday that we're expecting some sort of big announcement today. Do we have any idea what that could be?
Well, it was a tantalizing statement, wasn't it, that there will be a big announcement. The Prime Minister said it here in Ankara as well. President Erdogan arrived in Ankara last night, we understand, and he and Prime Minister Yildirim will be at the National Security Council at midday, local time here in Ankara, and then there will be a cabinet meeting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We've been told there is a big announcement, and it'll be a significant announcement. We don't know any more than that. However, in a television interview yesterday, one of the deputy prime ministers, Nurettin Canikli, suggested that it wouldn't be about martial law and it wouldn't be about a new law. So we will have to wait and see what the deliberations, first of all, in the National Security Council, because there are specific things they have to agree on, not least how to process all these people which are being investigated, and which judges and which prosecutors can actually deal with so many thousands of people. So there's that to be dealt with, and of course there is the obvious security element as well, which is bound to be at the front of their minds. And then this cabinet meeting of the government later in the afternoon.
Okay, Yolo.